Bill C-9 comes into effect today. If you're watching this video, it is already taken into effect. If you check out this video and let's talk about it right here on Born with Purpose. Let's go.
Hello, good morning, Canadian living in the US. On the topic of being controlled, I thought I would expand on it a little bit, and I don't think they realize how bad it is about to get. There is a certain bill that is called Bill C-9 in Canada that I think needs to be talked about more. Canada's Bill C-9 should scare more people than it actually does. And so you know what I did? I did what any normal and sane person does before they speak. I did a little bit more research, and I took some notes. So listen, Canada's Bill C-9, it's not just some harmless update, okay? This bill literally expands criminal law into speech. This bill in particular is creating new offenses for promoting hatred, even tied to things like symbols or expression in public. And here's where it gets serious, okay? Some of these offenses can carry up to 10 years in prison. 10 years for something tied to expression. And the word expression could be speaking out against the current government. This bill also removes certain legal safeguards, like requiring higher level approval before charging hate-related offenses. So now the threshold to charge someone is lower. And even the government admits that this could impact freedom of expression and assembly rights. I'll give you a minute to let that sink in. Now, this isn't whether or not you agree with the law, it's about this, okay? When governments start expanding criminal penalties into speech and lowering the barriers to charge people, history doesn't necessarily have a great track record with that. Call it whatever you want. But when governments start policing speech and expanding criminal penalties around expression, that's not a direction most free societies want to go in. And the wildest part for me is that people aren't even questioning it. Blind trust in politicians has never ended well, and Canadians need to start paying attention like yesterday.
You know, before we get to talking about Bill C-9, I want to give props to the Liberal government. The Liberal government somehow, some way, has gotten Canadians just like the Truman Show. Now, for those who are watching, don't know what the Truman Show is, the Truman Show was a character who had his whole life being portrayed on television. Everybody knew and everybody was watching him, but the only person that did know that he was on TV 24 hours a day was Truman. And this is how I feel Canadians are. Everybody in the world knows the crap that's going on in Canada and how messed up the government is, except the Canadians who actually live in the country. Props to you, Liberal government, for blinding Canadians like this. Bill C-9 is here. From the man that you voted in, Mr. Mark Carney, the smart economist, who is better than Trudeau because he is an economist. He's smarter. And now look what he did. Bill C-9's in effect. Yes. All right. So now you got to watch what you say in your emails. So funny because I did make a video about this last week about the cops that came over to the grandmother's house to say that she made threats against the government, and they came to check on her to make sure that she doesn't do that again, as if this grandmother is going to come and do some assassination or something. But anyway, some people commented and say, hey, when you make threats like that, police should come to your door. Well, people make threats on emails every single day. You're going to have police officers going to everybody's house and, you know what I mean? Not saying that threats are good, but come on now. So we're going to get jailed. We can get jailed up to 10 years for expression of speech. This is the democracy that we are now living in, that thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people come to this country every year to escape their third world country, their country of communism, their country of, dictatorship, just to come to a country that is borderline communist and slightly dictatorship. But anyways, Bill C-9's here. We didn't do nothing about it. We didn't rally against it. We just thought it was all right because the government said it's a bill that's against hate. And, that is the big H word that when you say you're against hate, everybody's like, sign me up. Because once it's against hate, I'm against it too. And I'm not saying I like hate. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that freedom of speech Get in jail for freedom of speech? What is that? What is that? And now it's here, and we don't know what the effects of this bill is going to impact, how it's going to impact this country. Are we going to have jails filled up for people saying something on email? Threats are never good. I'll never promote threats whatsoever. But we already got overcrowded jails, and the police should be more busy than sometimes they are trying to catch criminals. Instead, they're going to go to the neighbor's house and talk about stuff that they put on their emails. Anyway, Bill C-9's here. And we didn't fight about it. We didn't fight against it. Now we got to wait for an actual government to take it out. And how long is that going to be? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now? And then by then, how much damage has this country already been? You see, the last video I did talk about Pierre Poilievre waiting too long to go on Joe Rogan. He got so caught up talking about MMAs and all that stuff. And I'm not saying it was a bad interview, but this would have been a good interview to talk about Bill C-9. And I know he said that he didn't want to talk against Mark Carney on foreign soil, but maybe you should have talked about what he's doing and let more Canadians wake up to what's going on. Shoot, that video did get millions of views. So, missed opportunity once again. I don't know. But maybe I'm just running on. Maybe this is a good thing, according to some. I don't think so. What say you? Leave your comments, share, and subscribe to Born with Purpose. Get me to 2,000 subs. Hey, before the end of April, that'd be nice. I appreciate all y'all watching. Leave your stuff in the comments. Until the next video, I'm out. God bless. Peace.